What's up, poker people of YouTube? Welcome back to another Vodinh poker vlog. So it's kind of been a crazy week given the winter storms in Texas and around the country. Hope everyone's been staying safe and staying warm. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the giveaway from the last video. I'm going to give away two 52 social masks for that previous one. So I've selected two random winners from the comments from the last video, and I'm going to be shipping out these masks to you. The winners for that are Flora Lipke. I'm going to put the comments here, and Brian Pham. So if you are one of these two people that were selected, go ahead and reach out to me through my email. It'll be in the description box below. And for this video's giveaway, we're actually going to give away one of the hats. So you can pick between either gray or white, and we'll give away a mask or two as well. So to be entered for this giveaway, just go ahead and post in the comments below which color hat you would like to win. Just put gray hat or white hat, and other than that, you can post whatever comment as you normally do, and you'll be entered to win in the giveaway for the hat. You might be selected for the mask, so as a consolation prize, you can look out for that. Anyways, let's get straight into the poker, and I'll see you guys inside. What's up, poker people of YouTube, and welcome back to a Vodinh poker vlog. We're going to be back at 52 Social Poker, this time at night, playing some 1-3 match of stack, probably playing deep. Let's hopefully run it up and produce another good vlog for you guys. See you guys inside. So when we first get there, we're put on the wait list. We go ahead and buy our chips. We buy in for $1,500, given that a lot of the tables already there are pretty deep stack. Funnily enough, new tables formed with us being called, so we have a lot more chips than the rest of the people. I think the next biggest stack is like $500 effective. Anyways, let's get into the first hand. We have King Queen offsuit on the button. We're against a viewer of the vlog, Ibrahim. Shout out to you. He opens for $20 in the low jack. The hijack calls. We have an easy call in position on the button. Small blind, big blind fold. Flop comes Jack, 10, Jack, rainbow. So we flop open-ended. Pretty decent flop given that we didn't flop a pair. He continues and c-bets for $35. The hijack calls, and given that price, we're not going anywhere either with open-ended, so we make the call. The turn is the deuce of hearts. He checks it, the hijack checks it, and I don't think we have any reason to make a move here. So we're going to go ahead and check back, try to realize our equity. The river, however, is the 7 of diamonds. He checks again. The hijack checks as well. I think I feel like they've surrendered this pot. So obviously King High is no good in this spot, and when they've checked twice on the turn and river, we're going to go ahead and try to steal it. So we go ahead and bet a pot size bet of 170, over betting, making it look like nuts or bluff. We obviously get fold from any ace high, king X, and queen X hand. A jack should call us, but even weak jack X's are put to the test here. And obviously a 10X hand is definitely going to have to think about it and most likely fold. So the initial c-better and aggressor does fold, and the hijack tanks for a while before folding a really weak jack. So good one to get through to start out the session. Looks like it's going to be a good one. In the next hand, we got to do it for the vlog, of course. We're under the gun with 5 deuce of clubs. We opened for $15. The button calls, small blind folds. Big blind kind of min clicks to $33, and for the vlog, we're not going to fold for that price to min click, so we make the call, and the button calls as well. Flop, however, does not help us. It's Jack 9-4, 1 diamond, 2 spades. The big blind jams for $60 effective. We obviously make the fold, and the button calls. The runout comes deuce of diamonds, ace of clubs, and the big blind had pocket aces. So yeah, we need a lot of help, but at least we got this one out of the way for the vlog. Moving right along with real playable poker hands, we have pocket fours in the small blind. Under the gun opens for $10. The button calls, and we have an easy call looking to set mine, and the big blind folds. 3 ways to flop, which comes ace, ace, 9, rainbow. Not a completely terrible flop for fours, but we're just going to look to try to get the showdown here and pot control. So we check it, and the other 2 players check behind. Turn is the 5 of hearts. I check again. Under the gun this time bets for $15. The button calls, and for that price, I think we can't give up the hand yet. So we make the call as well. The river is the 6 of hearts. I check again, looking to get to showdown. Under the gun actually bets $25. The button calls, and we have an easy fold, of course. The under the gun actually has ace 7 offsuit, and the button has ace 10 offsuit. So weird line where he didn't raise it with basically the nuts, but cooler over cooler, ace X over ace X situation. In our next hand, we have the ace 10 offsuit in the under the gun +1. We open for $15. The cutoff calls, and the blinds fold. Heads up to flop, which comes queen 9-8 rainbow. At least we flop a gutter ball, given that we didn't flop anything else. So we do have enough to c-bet on this flop. So we c-bet for $20. We could represent any queen X hand as well. So the cutoff makes the call. The turn is the 8 of diamonds. We're going to go ahead and check this. This hand doesn't, or this card doesn't really help us. So we go ahead and check. The cutoff bet's $70. Pot size bet. We obviously have nothing to do but fold. We look at a much better hand this time. This time it's ace jack of diamonds in the small blind. Under the gun limps, button makes it $20. We flat, the big blind folds, and the under the gun calls as well. Flop comes pretty good. It's ace deuce deuce, 1 diamonds on the board, rainbow. I go ahead and check it, hoping that the initial better c-bets, but it checks through. The turn is the king of spades. We check one more time. Our hand's definitely under repped, and we're going to look for one of them to bet. The under the gun does go ahead and bet $12. The button folds. We're going to raise this spot, start putting some money in the middle. We raise to $30, and the under the gun calls. The river is the queen of spades. Not too good of a card. The backdoor spades got there, backdoor straights got there, and I don't think we're getting called by worse. So I go ahead and check, looking to check call if he bets, and the under the gun checks back and shows queen jack offsuit. So not too sure I would get any more value than already was, and I think we took down the max there. Another ace X of diamonds hand in this one. This time it's ace 3 of diamonds on the button. The under the gun +1 opens for $20. Low jack calls in position with a suited ace. We can make the call as well. Small blind folds and the big blind calls. 4 ways to flop, which comes 8, 5, 4, 2 diamonds and a heart. That's pretty good for us. Big blind +1 and low jack all check it, and we're going to bet on this board given our ace high flush draw. So we bet $50 and all players fold. So I'm pretty happy to take down this pot with ace high. In this one, we have my favorite hand. It's K9 offsuit. And the big blind, the button straddle is on. Small blind folds, I call the under the gun, the +1, the cutoff call, and the button checks their option. Flop comes queen 10-5. Pretty good flop until you realize that they're all diamonds and we don't have a diamond. So I go ahead and check it. The under the gun bets $15 and all of us fold. In this hand, we have ace jack offsuit, under the gun +1. We open for $20. The low jack calls, small blind folds, and big blind calls. 3 ways to flop, which comes jack 3, 4, 2 spades and a club, so we flop top. The big blind checks to us, and we obviously c-bet for $30, and both players fold. Good one to take down. This hand's kind of interesting. It's ace 10 of hearts in the cutoff. The +1 limps. Low jack makes it $15. We go ahead and 3-bet with our hand to $45. Suited ace, it's an easy candidate to 3-bet. Obviously, you can flat as well. Small blind, big blind fold. The +1 goes all in, funnily enough, for $56. Low jack makes a call for $11. We're not going to make the fold, of course, so we make the call. So one person's all in and heads up on the side to a flop of king 9-5, 2 diamonds and a heart. We do flop backdoor hearts and backdoor straight draws, although very thin. Low jack checks, and given no side pot, we're just going to check it back with what we have. The turn is the 6 of diamonds. The low jack actually bets $60, and with no side pot, there's no reason to continue in this pot, so we make the fold. The river is the 10 of diamonds, and the low jack shows king jack with the jack of diamonds, and the undergun +1 that was all in pre-flop has ace 8 with the ace of diamonds. And as always, guys, if you don't have access to live poker or you needed something to do during the power outage like I did during the winter storms, there's always the club ID that you can use and my refer ID on Poker Bros. If you need help getting started, go ahead and reach out to me on Telegram at Vodinh, and all the instructions are in the description box below. Hope to see you guys online. So that was kind of a rough hand where we were ahead of the other 2 hands pre-flop, but obviously did not connect with the board and had to fold. Let's move on though. We have 7 of 6 of spades in the small blind in this next one. Low jack limps, button limps, out of position with a suited connected hand. I'm going to go ahead and open to $20 and try to thin the field. But alas, we're in Texas, so the big blind, low jack, and button all call. 4 ways to flop, which comes ace 9-9, 2 spades and a heart. It's a pretty good board for us and a good flop for us given our hand and what we can represent. So we go ahead and c-bet for $45. The big blind folds, low jack calls, and button folds. So heads up to a turn now, which is the 8 of diamonds. So now we have open-ended to go with our flush draw. Pretty good turn for us. We're going to go ahead and continue representing an ace X, however, and we're going to c-bet for $90. And the low jack calls once again. The river is the 10 of spades. So we do hit our straight as well as our flush. You could call it a straight flush. We go ahead and jam all in for $260 effective. We want to make this look like bluff or nuts, of course. Obviously, we're going to get called by boats and flushes. A 9x is going to think about it and maybe call us, and even ace x hands, especially ace king, ace queen, ace jack, will probably think about it. And it puts him in a really tough spot where it's either bluff or nuts. We could obviously go for value and bet maybe $100 to $150, but I'm greedy and I want to go for it all. So we jam 260 effective, and the low jack tanks for about 3 to 5 minutes before laying down the hand. In this next one, we also have suited connectors. It's 7-8 of clubs in the small blind. The +1 limps, the button limps. We go ahead and limp. We're going to switch up our play. We can't do the same thing every time. And the big blind checks our option. Flop comes deuce, 9, 10, 2 clubs and a diamond. Pretty good flop for us. We're open-ended with the flush draw. I go ahead and check, looking to check raise in the spot. But, of course, our plan doesn't work out when everyone checks as well. The turn is the king of diamonds, so we could go ahead and lead on this turn, given our equity, and we could represent a check through king X on the flop. So we go ahead and bet $15. The big blind folds, the +1 calls, and the button folds. The river, however, is the 7 of hearts, so we don't hit what we want, but we do have a pair now, so we have showdown value. So we go ahead and check it, hoping to get to showdown, and the +1 checks back, and our 7-8 of clubs is good. Quick hand, king, queen, offsuit under the gun, button straddles on. Small blind folds, big blind limps a 6. We make it $30 and all players fold. Moving along, we have ace 10 offsuit in the big blind. The under the gun, hijack, cutoff, button all limp. I go ahead and check the spot. I don't want to raise multi-way given that it's Texas and knowing that most likely everyone's going to call. Flop comes jack 4 deuce rainbow, so we're basically done with this hand. Good thing we checked our option. Small blind and myself check. Under the gun bets $15 and everyone folds. Under the gun actually shows us pocket aces, and yeah, I guess we did a good check on our big blind option that time. Another quick hand recap, ace queen offsuit under the gun. We open for $20 and all players fold. Good steal of the blinds. In this next hand, we have pocket jacks, otherwise known as fish hooks or jiggities in the big blind. Under the gun limps, small blind makes it $15. We're going to 3-bet, of course, with this hand to 60. Under the gun folds and the small blind calls. Flop comes deuce, 8, queen, 2 diamonds and a spade. Not what we wanted given that we have pocket jacks. A lot of ace, queen, king, queen in their range. Of course, they got to have lower pocket pairs. So they check it, and we're going to check it back on this flop. We're looking to hopefully get to showdown and call light bets down on the way. So we do check back. The turn is the 8 of clubs. The small blind bets $65. And as expected and planned, we are going to make that call. And the river is the 9 of clubs. Small blind checks again, and we check it back. Small blind says ace high, which is obviously no good against our pair of jacks. So good one to take down where the pot didn't get too bloated, and we were able to call and make it to showdown. So some of you guys might berate me at the end of this hand for how I played it or if I was too nitty, but we have ace-jack offsuit on the big blind. The button straddle is on. Small blind folds. We go ahead and make it $30 given that a lot of the stack sizes now either cover us or are matched up with us. And with the button straddle being on, obviously our raise sizes should be bigger pre-flop. So we bet $30. The under the gun calls, cutoff calls, and button calls. 4 ways to flop, which comes pretty good. It's queen, jack, jack, 2 diamonds in the club. So there's a flush draw and straight draw, but we only lose to pocket queens and queen, jack. So we're going to go ahead and make a small sizing bet of $50 into 3 other players into the 120 pot. Under the gun folds, cutoff, and button call. The turn is the 6 of hearts. So with the diamond draw being out there and straight draw being out there and still multi-way, we want to size up a bit as well as still going for value. So we bet $130. The cutoff actually raises us to $400. And when the button folds and it gets back to us, I think we have to make the call here. We're at the top of our range, basically, and we only lose to pocket queens and queen jack. Queens would have re-raised pre-flop from our $30 initial open. So we're only losing to queen jack, really. There's a lot of straight draws and diamond draws that they could be betting with and barreling with. And obviously, any jack X hand, we're beating. So we're still getting value from those hands. So we make the call. The river's a safe one. It's the 5 of spades, so all straight draws, diamond draws miss. We go ahead and check it. I don't think we're getting called by worse if we do make a bet. No queen X will be calling us, and only a jack X would be calling us. And if they do have that case jack, then maybe we're too nitty here on this check. But we go ahead and check, and the cutoff jams all in, covering us. We make the size snap call. If they have it, they have it. And the cutoff actually shows 5-6 of diamonds. So that's one of the bluffs in their range from the flop and turn. And we're happy to take down this huge $3,600 pot, our biggest pot in our lifetime. And glad to have shared this one with the vlog. You guys can criticize my river play if it was too nitty to check on that flop given the first position. But maybe I was playing some scared money. Happy with the results though. Moving on, after that ecstatic win, we have King 10 offsuit on the big blind. The button straddle is on. Small blind limps, we limp the 6. The under the gun bets $20. The button and small blind make the call, and last to act for that price, we're going to make the call as well. Flop's pretty good given our marginal hand, and it's King 10 6, 2 diamonds and a heart. So we flop top 2. Small blind checks, we go ahead and check, looking to check raise because multi-way, I feel like the initial better, especially on this table of strong players. They're going to look to c-bet a majority of the range. So they do that and bet $45. The button folds, small blind folds, and as planned, we're going to check raise the spot. We could have a lot of diamond draw combos and straight draw combos. And with our actually made hand, we're going to look to go for value. So we do raise to $140, and the under the gun folds, a lot of dead money that I'm happy to take down. This one, we have pocket 9s in the low jack. We open for $15. Hijack calls, cutoff actually 3 bets to $65. The small blind calls, big blind folds. When it gets back to me, I think I can make the call looking to set mine. We can get a lot of the money in, especially playing deep against all these other players. And with one more player behind to act, I feel like they're going to make the call as well, giving us some pretty decent odds to see a flop. So we do make the call, and as expected, the hijack calls as well. 4 ways to flop, which comes queen, jack, deuce, rainbow. Not what we were looking for, so we're kind of done with the hand. Hopefully it checks through. Small blind, myself, and the hijack check it. The cutoff c-bets for $100, and of course we have to make the fold here, and everyone else does as well. Moving along, we have pocket kings on the button. Looks like we're just running hot today. Hijack limps, cutoff limps, we open for $20. Small blind calls, big blind folds, and the hijack cutoff call as well. 4 players to a flop, which comes 10, 6, 4 rainbow. Pretty good flop for us. Small blind checks, hijack checks, cutoff checks. We c-bet, of course, multi-way. We're going to size up a bit to $50. Small blind folds, hijack calls, and the cutoff folds. Heads up to the turn, which is the queen of hearts. I really hope they have ace queen or king queen or queen jack that they floated. The hijack checks, we size up to a sizing of $120, given that there are straight draws and heart draws. If they have a queen X hand, they will most likely call us. With a 10X hand, they might be a non-believer and call us for one more street. But sadly enough, the hijack folds, and we take down the pot. In this hand, we have ace 10 of spades in the cutoff. The button straddle is on. Small blind folds, big blind folds, low jack limps a 6, hijack limps a 6. We go ahead and squeeze to a sizing of $36. The button, low jack, and hijack all call, however. It's Texas. This shouldn't be a surprise anymore. 4 ways to flop, which comes 9, 6, 4, 1 spade and 2 clubs. So we do have backdoor straight and spade draw outs. The low jack and hijack check, we're going to make a small bet of $50, making it look like value, like we have overcards, and trying to take down the pot with as little risk as possible. And luckily enough, all players fold, and we take down a pretty sizable pot with a small bet. In this next one, we have another ace X hand. This time it's ace jack offsuit on the cutoff. The button straddle is on, of course. Small blind folds, big blind limps a 6, hijack limps a 6. We go ahead and squeeze it yet again to $30. The button calls, big blind folds, hijack calls. 3 ways to flop, which comes 7, 4, 7, rainbow. Not a good flop for us to c-bet on given our pre-flop raising range. So it does check through. The turn is the queen of hearts. The hijack checks. I could bet here with the delayed c-bet, but I feel like a lot of other players might have that queen X hand instead of us, and other players might be trapping that 7X as well. So we go ahead and check it, and the button does bet $65, which makes the hijack and myself fold. In the next one, we are under the gun with jacking off. We open for $20. The under the gun +1 calls, low jack calls, small blind folds, and big blind calls. 4 ways to flop, which comes king 4, 3 rainbow. So we flop top pair, decent kicker. Big blind checks. We c-bet, of course, for $50. The +1 and low jack fold, but the big blind calls. Heads up to turn, which is the 6 of clubs. The big blind checks it. We go ahead and size down a bit given our decent holding, and now that the straight draw is there. So we bet $80. The big blind actually raises to a huge sizing of $480, and this screams either nuts or nothing at all. He's also a player that's shown a pure jack deuce offsuit bluff already, over betting $500 into a $100 pot previously before. So given that information, and if we're wrong, we're wrong, we go ahead and make the call. The river is the 9 of hearts. He has about 300 to 400 behind, so if he does put it in, we're going to have to make the call. But we're looking to just get to showdown value, so when he does check it, we check it back, of course. And the big blind actually shows 4 deuce of clubs. So he has a pair of 4s. He missed his gutter ball and his club draws. And our king jack, or jacking off as you guys like to call it, is good to scoop the entire pot. So pretty good pot with a marginal holding. In this next hand, we have ace king of hearts on the button straddle. Small blind folds, big blind limps to $6, low jack makes it $30, hijack calls, cutoff calls. Obviously, we have to 3-bet here, so we size up to $160, given that there were so many people that called already. The big blind folds, the low jack folds, hijack calls, and the cutoff folds. So heads up to a flop, which comes queen, queen, 7, rainbow. The hijack checks it, and with this flop, I could c-bet once, but I feel like we could be punting money against a thinking player, and that's what this player is. He has a decent stack in front of him, and we're not looking to get too involved in a huge pot with him with ace high. We could represent a queen X, obviously, but the only real queen X hand that we could be representing is ace queen. Otherwise, we're representing aces, kings, and jacks, and maybe even 10s. So we go ahead and check it back. We're happy with the profit. We could be locking up scared money, but I'm fine with it, so I check it back. The turn is the 6 of spades. And I think after not c-betting the flop, it's too late to do anything at this point. So when he checks, we check it back. The river is the 10 of clubs, and with my line of thinking on the turn, he checks it and we check back. And the hijack shows pocket 3s. So maybe we could have got him off the pot, but he's a pretty analytical player, and the only true hand I could have represented had to be 10s or better. But if he puts me on ace king or ace king suited, he's going to call me down all the way, and we're just punting off money. So you guys can disagree with me. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. But I'm happy to just have lost the 160 with that 3-bet and moving on. Last hand of the vlog and session, we have pocket 9s under the gun. We open for $15. The plus 1 actually 3-bets to $40. Small blind, big blind fold. We have to make the call here. We have a lot of boards that we can be good on, and obviously with a pocket pair, we're looking to set mine and get the money in. So we make the call. The flop is 10, 4, 3, 2 spades and a diamond. Not a terrible flop for us. So we're going to go ahead and check it and let them continue. We're going to check call in the spot if they do bet, but they check it back. The turn is the ace of clubs. Not too good of a card. He could have a lot of ace X hands in this range. So we do check it. The plus 1 actually bets a sizing of $25. I don't think we can fold just yet for that price. So we make the call. The river is the 6 of clubs. So 5 deuce gets there, funnily enough, 5, 7. And obviously we're beat by a lot of ace X combos and 10X combos. So we go ahead and check it. The plus 1 actually makes a sizing of 125, almost pot. And for that price, we obviously have to make the fold. I asked him what he had after the session, and he would tell me that he had 4s, as in pocket 4s. So he was set. He was trapping a set, and we got away from a big one there. What's up? So we just finished our session at 52 Social Poker. We were in the game for $1,600, out of the game for $4,337. That's a profit of $2,737. Good day. There were some spots. Well, we played pretty tight. We started the game at 7 o'clock, 6:30 or so, and then it's 11:50 right now. So that's about a 5-hour session, give or take. Yeah, I think I played pretty tight and got the credibility of a tight player this session. So we were able to get some folds in some spots where we might not usually. We only showed nutted hands and strong hands. So I'm pretty happy with how I played. Obviously, this was a 5-hour session, it's a long session. And even though we won, I'm gonna go look back at hands that I might have lost and seeing if we could have done anything different or save money in some spots. So always room to improve and analyze even in a huge win. I'm happy this was my biggest win ever. Yeah, biggest ever winning. So just still struck that I got them off bluffs, not even like cooler over cooler, just calling down bluffs and having the best hand. Yeah, thank you if you made it this far for supporting. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.